Hello there. Are you a pig farmer? What kind of breeds are you using in your pig farming? Are you getting the most out of the breeds you are using? Have you fully explored the potential of the particular breeds you are using? Well, these and many more are the questions Fred is going to be answering for us right here at the studio as he leads the entire team of farming in Africa into a very bold and industrious venture called pig farming. Who knows? If you are not into pig farming, you might even get inspired as well to enter into pig farming with us. Let me repeat, it doesn't mean we are leaving goat farming behind. So to all of my goat farmers, join us on this journey because the bigger vision is actually to revolutionize the entire livestock industry in Africa. We started from cattle, goats, and now pigs. Here we come. Well, let me give you a minute to please subscribe to this channel if you haven't and this is your first time. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you for your support. But I always say you know what to do. Hit the notification button so as we go into this new journey of pig farming, you don't lose out on any content we bring your way. Stay tuned because we are going to be answering all of the questions you gave us, especially when we brought you part 1 of the video. I shall be back. Hello, Fred. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And thanks for fulfilling your promise of giving us part 2 of this because we are loving the education you are giving us.
You're welcome.
Let's delve straight into it. So after we released part 1, we had some questions about the breeding and people were asking, so what's the end goal? Are we going into breeding and meat consumption? Is it even possible to have both as an end goal? All of that into breeding, over to you. Please take us away.
So what we're about to do is not just the livestock, but it's also the education. I think there are so many pig farmers out there. A lot of the youth are into pig farming, but the knowledge is not available. And I always consider myself lucky and privileged to be able to, blessed, to be able to get the exposure that I get. And I think that's one of the things why, the Farming in Africa channels, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook, is such a powerful tool because then I don't get to keep everything I have, but rather to share so that people that even have been doing it for years can still learn from us, because we have the most caring, the most innovative and practical information out there. So I think this project, what I'm very excited even about is how to educate people, because you might have the pure breed or even a good breed, but it's like, how are you utilizing that breed to be able to serve the purpose that you're doing, right? So obviously there's 2 market or end game for every livestock farmer, and maybe 3 if you're in the goat and cattle business, because then there is the dairy market as well. Definitely. Then there is the meat market. Then there is the breeders market.
Does that exist in pig farming?
I have never seen that in pig farming. So they give birth to too many kids for us to be taking their milk as well. But I don't know.
Yes, actually, how many kids come at a time? Or it depends on the breed?
It depends on the breed. Some can have as poor as 6.
And that's poor for a pig, huh?
Yes, that's very poor. Some can go very high. So the goal is, what are you doing? And most of our pig farmers, maybe about 80% of them, are breeding for consumption.
For consumption, yes.
So, and if that's the case, then they are breeding to sell to the market or to process themselves for meat. And if that's what you're doing as a pig farmer, then you need, out of these 3, there is a formula to be able to generate a consumption meat, like a slaughter pig.
I see. Right. Take me through the 3 again.
So we have the large white, the land race, and then the Duroc. Right. So if you take these 3, based on what you, the farmer, is looking for, will tell you how you actually work with these 3 breeds.
I see.
Right. So you might go and say, Me, I want a pure Duroc breed, and you buy a Duroc male and female, and you're breeding them. What's the purpose? Why are you doing that?
So even for you to decide on a particular breed, you have to know the purpose for which you are going into this venture.
Yes.
That would influence your choice of breeds.
Yes.
Wow. Then take all the purposes that exist and educate us on the good breeds that are appropriate for the purposes. Yeah.
So, like I said in our previous interview, the breed alone is not 100% enough.
Okay.
The bloodline or the genetic of that breed is what really you need to be able to achieve the highest goal.
Yes.
But let's say we have the right genetic and we have the pure breed, and we have these 3 breeds, right? So mostly what you can do if you're breeding for other farmers, if you're a breeder, that means at my farm I'm breeding for other farmers to come and buy and then take to their farm. Then what you need is a male or a female of both large white and landrace and cross them.
Okay, so you need the offspring of a large white and landrace.
Yes, it can be a male or female of either of those and be able to cross them. If you have the right genetic, large white and landrace, their offspring, which is the F1 of that, has a very good fertility rate and a very good mother instinct.
Okay, so that would be purposely for breeding because the fertility rate you said is crazy.
Exactly. So then you will use that offspring, can also give birth and be able to be a good mom and be able to give you enough offspring per litter.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I've been to a farm where people were trying to cross both Duroc, a male and a female, and use them for breeding. Right? Just because it says I like Duroc, but it's missing the purpose or the vision of the farm. Right? So again, once you breed a large white and a landrace and you get an F1, that F1 is now your finisher. So what do you bring? So what you bring here is a Duroc.
Okay. So you have your F1.
Yes.
And then you bring a Duroc.
Yes. Which is then the finisher. So the moment you introduce a Duroc, that means that you're cutting the bloodline. Everything that comes out of that cannot be used for production anymore or for breeding.
Is that what you mean by a finisher?
Yes.
Oh, like a terminator.
Yes, so it terminates the bloodline.
Calm down for us, we are learning. Okay, so the Duroc you introduce acts as a terminator.
Yes.
It finishes the bloodline of the F1.
Yes. So then everything you get out, it has to go for meat. Because having the Duroc bloodline in it is going to help it build faster. If you have the right genetic of a Duroc, it will help it grow better, faster, good muscles, and you'll be able to sell it at 6 months at a very good price because your weight is going to be very high.
Then if I understand you right, the Duroc breed is purposely for meat consumption.
Meat consumption and serving its purpose as a finisher.
Yeah, serving its purpose as a finisher. So in the scenario you created where a farmer crosses Duroc male and Duroc female and produces Durocs, what becomes of that?
So what becomes of those Durocs? The female needs to go for slaughter. The males can still keep the bloodline because that's how you get more Duroc, and that male can now be more of a finisher.
Finisher, I love the term, finisher. Okay. So now that does it for the meat consumption. I believe at Sementia Farms, when we start our pig farming, definitely we are going to be an authentic source of good genetic breeds, right?
Yeah, of course.
Good. So now what do you do when you want to go into breeding? You just want to breed for other farmers to come for meat consumption.
So if you want to do for breeding, which is what we are going to start doing. So we are selecting a few pig farmers that are serious and wants to join us in this journey, and then all of us are going to start of bring the first batch of pigs into Ghana within the next couple of months, and then be able to run this. So some of us are going to be breeders, others are going to be breeders of Duroc, others are going to be breeders of for production, and some are also going to do slaughter. So if you're watching us and you're actually a pig farmer and you understand what we're talking about and really want, get in touch with us. We will come to your farm. As you know, yesterday we were at some farms, so we'll come to your farm, assess your facility. We are selecting a very few people to join us on this first batch and bring what we need, because with pigs too, they're heavy, so it's not like goats that we can bring 50. We bring very small per crate. So just a few farmers for us to start with. If you want to breed, then like I said, you will need a pure breed of a land race and a large white, and then once you breed them, they are F1s. You will be able to now breed them as well. One thing you can also do is the zigzag, which is once you have an F1, if you cross that F1 with a different blood group of a land race or a large white, you still get a good maternal instinct, right? But mostly you need a large race land rice, and then you breed them and then you use them for breeding. Right? And if your genetic is good, then you can keep breeding those without slaughtering till maybe you have too many bats that you want to boas that you want to literally sell them off.
Or let's say when you get tired of them, you bring a finisher.
You bring a finisher, and then you finish that bloodline, and then you just move forward. Yes.
Wow. I'm just curious, how long do pigs live?
Pigs can live longer. I think the question is how profitable would they be?
Okay.
Or how long would it make economical sense? Right? Because as a farmer, you want to always look at your input and your output when it comes to pigs. Because they eat a lot, right? So the amount of food you're giving them, and then the amount of cage per litter, then you need to be able to say, is this giving me enough? Like we went to a farm yesterday, and that pig gave birth to only one. So after feeding that pig for 6 months and it gives you one, it needs to go quick, right? So you start with a good breed, but obviously even with the Duroc, which is the finisher, their sperm gets weakened as they grow older. Right? So as you get to a certain point, you realize that, okay, this pig is not able to give me the litter that I need. And if I can get another pig that will give me maybe times 2 of what you're giving me, then why, with the same feed, then why do I keep you and not go for the other one? Right? So you, as a farmer, you look at what you're putting in and what they're giving you, and you decide when you slaughter them or keep them. And that's how.
I think you really framed that well for me. So thank you. We are looking at the economical sense it makes. Because at the end of the day, like you said, it's either you end up in the plate if you are not producing or something like that. That sounds cold though.
It is not. Imagining, you slashing like a very juicy pig, I think is...
Okay. I don't want my imaginations to run wild. But I like the way you kept talking to pig farmers. Who is your target market, Fred? Are you just looking for pig farmers? Who is your target market in this venture?
I think so. As farming in Africa as a whole, once we enter into a specific field of livestock, we come with the whole package. We don't come just with the genetic, but we come with also the nutrition. Then we come with the education. Then we come with the health. Then we come with the setup, which is the infrastructure, right? Then we come with the management as well. And that is why we do not do anything unless we have done it. Because when a farmer is producing for another farmer, there is much more care and love and thinking behind it, right? And like the farm that we visited the other day, which was a goat pen, the man has watched the videos and has a couple of ideas of how we've done it. So called a few carpenters, they came and they did a terrible job, right? And we went there and rebuilt the farm, and now if you look at it, you can see the thinking behind it, and that is a farmer to a farmer. So I think when we go into it, our target market is anybody that is interested in going into pig farming and those that are in the pig farming. So if you're interested in going into pig farming, how can we help you to maximize your profits or your investment? If you're already in it, where are the areas that you're finding challenges? That's where we can come in and also help you make the best out of it. Is it your infrastructure? Is it the genetic? Is it your feeding? Is it the health? Then we can come in and support you, right? But what I'm much more excited is how many people through our innovation we can inspire to go in, because we need more.
And believe you me, we really are going to inspire people, because I have seen it for myself, how people from all backgrounds, diverse professional career backgrounds, suddenly reach out because they've been inspired to venture into goat farming. And that is what gets me very excited with this whole pig farming venture Fred is leading the team into. Believe you me, by the time we are through with this, just stay tuned. I want you to go into the nutrition of pigs for me. To somebody watching who is literally also learning the knowledge on pig farming from this video, what do pigs eat at all? Is their feeding that intensive? Should we begin to think of cultivating sementia grass and all of that? Do they even eat hay? Please talk about the nutrition of pigs for me.
Yeah, so nutrition is key in livestock farming, just like we've learned from goats. There is it doesn't change much when it comes to the components that is needed. You know, you need your protein, they need your energy, right? And then they need their micro minerals, then they need their vitamins. So you can group it into three, which is the macro minerals, the micro, and then the vitamins, right? And you know, depending on the resources you have at your disposal, that is what you're going to be working on to formulate. What is most important is how your feed is being formulated.
Exactly.
And that is the kind of knowledge that over the coming months and years we will be sharing with farmers, because yes, you have maize, you have soya beans, you have oxtail shell, you have wheat brown, but what is the component of it? And those are things that, you know, when it comes to agriculture, people have kept the secret from us and have been riding on our back for too long. This is what we do. This is why channels like this exposes it all, so that we can all learn from it, right? So definitely how you're missing those components is what is going to tell the results of what you're giving them, right? But then your micro minerals is mostly what is missing in the livestock industry, because we don't have our hands on the micro minerals. So yes, you might give your pig the wheat brown, the soya beans, the corn and everything, but at the end of the day, that doesn't give the pig all the micro minerals that you need. So you need that to be able to add to it, the premix, add to it to be able to have a complete feed. And I know in time we're going to go through all of that and demonstrate to people.
Because I was going to ask you, are we then going to create a line in our livestock feed production for pigs?
Oh yes, definitely sure, because yes, the premix is something that needs to be available. The components, especially with the breeds we are bringing, we are bringing the nutrition as well alongside with it.
Oh, at this point, let me just clap for you, because everything you say sounds, it exposes the planning, the thinking, and the research you have put into this. Even before you come out to tell us, guys, this is what I want to do. Apparently, it's not just sudden like that. A lot of thinking has gone into it. So yes, you are going to be bringing the nutrition along.
Yeah, we bring the nutrition along. We bring the health along, right? With the design, I've spent a lot of time with the company that did the design. We are designing different types for different number, maybe 20 sow pig pen, 40 sow pig pen, you know, depending on what the farmer can afford to do. We also have different styles of the pen that we can build for you. We are going to build the high-end one, but we'll have the various style based on your capital or strength to be able to build for you. But yeah, you're right. A lot of research has gone into this, because personally, I think the way I have started my cattle and goat was, you know, I will learn as I go and share my mistakes with you. And I've realized that, you know, when you're young, you can afford to make some mistakes. But the more you grow, then you're like, you know what? I was speaking to a friend of mine, a very, educated man. He's on pension.
Oh, okay.
And he told me something a while back. He said, Fred, I've grown past experimental. Right now, if it doesn't work, I won't do it.
That's all. No time to waste.
And that's the level I feel like I am now.
Hey, then guys, watch out.
If it needs to work, I'm done with the experimenting, right? It needs to work. And the good thing is that people have done it. It's working, right? And the knowledge is there. Just that sometimes when it comes to our continent or an area, people don't like to share, but we've been very lucky to meet people along the way who are willing to share with us because they also know the kind of work we are doing, right? So they are willing to share with us so that we can share with all of you as well. So yes, a lot of work has gone into this and we've gathered the knowledge. So if our pigs are coming, they're coming with their feed, they're coming with their medication, they're coming with everything that we need.
A whole comprehensive plan, everything that we need. I know as once we are going into it, the standard has been set so high and it has to work. Yes. And we are telling you this so that accountability would be enforced and be transparent. As always, we are open-minded to all of the questions you have. The various topics within this venture that you want us to touch on, why not? You know where to put your thoughts and your comments as well. Before I let Fred go, would you now say to people who are getting inspired to come into this journey with you that get a piece of land, yes, for the facilities, but also to cultivate some sementia grass? Or pigs are not so big on the grass, so you wouldn't even advocate for having your own source of feed that you've cultivated?
So I'll say people get a piece of land, yes. Get in touch with us for help if you need us to come help you build a structure. If you need us help you get the right genetics, we are gonna bring the genetics. In terms of the grass, like you already know me, I like to test everything before I put it out there. So what we are gonna do is we're gonna start incorporating the grass into their feed. And then see the results of it. I actually have a friend in Brekum who came to my farm and get some of our grass and took it to the pigs and they ate it.
Oh,
right. Wow. But I just don't want to go with the assumption of they will eat it.
Yes.
I want to go with the assumption of like what value does it add to them.
Okay.
Right. So, and before I can do that, I need to test it at my farm. Okay. So definitely we're going to have a lot of work to work around nutrition because we want to go as cheap as possible.
Oh, that's
so if our grass has like, 18% protein, right, and we're using soya beans and it's so expensive, can we substitute it? And if we do substitute it, what is going to be the impact? What is going to be the growth rate? And we need that metrics to be able to come out there. So watch out as we go into all that.
Fred says watch out. I am so excited, but I'm trying to tone it down because I don't want you to go out there and say, hey, this girl gets too excited and all of that. But believe you me, this venture that Farming in Africa is entering into is definitely exciting. And you know what? You've known us to bring you all of it, the entire package. The downs, the highs, the glories, the successes, the challenges, the tribulations. Even when you are being sacked and all of that, we exist to let you know the entirety of what goes on in this livestock agribusiness. And on that note, let me remind you that if you need help with establishing your own livestock farm, be it goats, pigs, even cattle, just pick our contacts from our bio. You have to start on the right note, guys, and get the right knowledge to be able to get a good return on the investment. I would end on this note on nutrition. Fred mentioned that going forward, we really are going to intensify the knowledge we are sharing. And that is why the webinars we've been organizing have come to stay, guys. These webinars have come to stay, and moving forward, we are going to be picking very critical areas. We won't lump them all in one, like the ones we have brought you so far. But moving forward, we are going to be picking very critical areas like nutrition alone, so that when Fred takes the microphone on that evening and delves into the nutrition, you are going to leave with all of your questions well answered on the topic of nutrition. If this is your first time, I'm excited for you. So you need to follow us, and please don't miss out on any content we bring your way. From Fred and the entire team here at Farming in Africa, into the future we come with pig farming. Stay tuned.